All right, guys, here we go. 3-4 video solving multi-step inequalities. If this lesson, I want to be able to solve a multi-step inequality. All right, here we go. So solving multi-step inequalities is just like solving an equation. The only thing we ever have to remember with an inequality is that if we multiply or divide by negative, we have to flip the inequality sign around. Other than that, we follow the same exact rules as solving an equation. So here we go. Here's my steps for solving an equation / inequality. I distribute first, then I combine my like terms on each side, and then I use addition and subtraction to move the letters to one side of the equal sign, or the inequality sign in this case. I use my addition or subtraction to move the regular numbers to the other side of the equal sign, or the inequality sign, and then I divide. And then the last, and just remember when you're dealing with an inequality, you may have to flip it around if you divide by negative. That's what I call your alert. Alert, alert. And when I divide by negative, I gotta flip the sign around. All right, so here we go. 9 plus 14 is greater than 21. So it's just like an inequality, an equation. So you gotta do the same thing on both sides. So the letters are already on the left. The 4t is already on the left. So I'm gonna get rid of this 9, subtract 9. So notice in your steps here, you didn't have to distribute. There was nothing to distribute. There were no like terms on each side of the inequality sign. So you can jump all the way to number 3. I'm going to use my addition and subtraction to move this 9 away from the t. So I subtract 9 from both sides. So that gives me 4t is greater than 12. All right, now all my t's are on the left. All my regular numbers are on the right, so I can divide. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. That's a positive 4, so I don't have to worry about flipping the sign or anything. So t is just greater than 3. All right, no big deal. Let's take a look at another one. So same steps. I always do the same steps. There is nothing to distribute. There's no number with a parenthesis or anything like that. There are no like terms to put together over here. I can't combine a's and regular numbers. All right. So I can move my letters to one side and my numbers to the other. So the a's are already on the left. So I want to get rid of this minus 7. In order to get rid of a minus 7, I would add 7. If I do it to the left, I have to do it to the right. Minus 7 and plus 7 would cancel out. That was the whole point of adding 7. So now I'm at negative 6a is less than or equal to 24. I have all my a's on the left, all my numbers on the right. So I'm going to divide by the number stuck to the letter. So I'm going to divide by negative 6. As soon as I divide by a negative number, the alert goes off in my head. Alert, alert. And that reminds me that I have to flip the inequality sign. So it goes from a less than or equal to a greater than or equal because I divided by a negative number. So now a is greater than or equal to negative 4. All right? So no big deal. It's all the same steps as always. The only thing you have to remember is if you divide by a negative, you're going to flip that around. So here we go here. I got negative 4 is less than 5 minus 3n. There's nothing to distribute. There are no like terms to put together. I can't put these together. These have n's, these don't. So letters are already on the right. So I got to get rid of this 5. This is a positive 5. You always look at the sign in front of it. A positive 5. So to get rid of a positive 5, I would have to subtract 5 from both sides. That gets me negative 9 is less than negative 3n. I got to get this all by itself. So now I'm letters on the right, numbers on the left. So I can divide by the negative 3. As soon as I say divide by negative anything, the alert goes off. Alert, alert, divide by negative 3. So negative means I got to flip this sign around and make it a greater than. Negative 9 divided by negative 3. Negative divided by negative, positive 3. So 3 is greater than n. Notice the sign is flipped because I divided by negative. All right, there's another one. Nothing to distribute. No like terms on each side. No x's to move. So I just got to move this positive 30. In order to get rid of a positive 30, I would subtract 30 from both sides. So 20 is greater than 0.8 x. All right, now my numbers are over here. My letters are over here. Divide by the number stuck to the letter. Divide by 0.8. That's a positive 0.8. So I'm not going to flip the sign around. Just keep the sign the way it is. 20 divided by 0.8 is 25. 25 is greater than x. All right. A couple more steps in here. Now, Distribute. I have a number stuck to a parenthesis, so I have to give that 3 away. 3 times t and 3 times 1. Don't give the 3 to this because that's not in the parenthesis. 3 times t, 3 times 1. That should get me 3t plus 3. I still have a minus 4t. I still have a greater than or equal to negative 5. Next step. Combine your like terms on each side. So I got some t's and I got some more t's on the left side. So put those together. Positive 3t minus 4t. 3 minus 4 is negative 1t. Plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 5. All right, so now I got t's on the left. I also have a 3 on the left. So I got to get rid of this positive 3. So subtract 3 from both sides. Negative 1t is greater than or equal to negative 8. That t is not all by itself. That's negative 1t. So the last thing I always do is divide by the number stuck to the letter. Divide by negative 1. As soon as I divide by negative, alert, 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 flip the sign around. So t is less than or equal to positive 8 because negative 8 divided by negative 1 is positive 8. I had to flip this sign around because I divided by negative. That's my alert. Alert, alert. Multiply or divide by negative, flip the sign. All right, more of the same. Okay, here, be careful. You're distributing a negative 2. This number is with this sign right here. So when you distribute, you got to distribute a negative 2 to that and a negative 2 to that. So I have 15 less than or equal to 5. This gets me a negative 8m, and that gets me a negative 14. So negative 8m minus 14. Combine your like terms over here. 5 minus 14 is negative 9. So I got negative 9 minus 8m. There's a 15 over here. There's a negative 9 over here. So I got to get this over there to get them away from the m's. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. I got 24 is less than or equal to negative 8m. I got all my m's on the right, all my numbers on the left, so I can divide by the number stuck to the letter. Divide by negative 8. Alert, alert! Divide by negative. So flip it around. 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. I flipped the sign because I divided by negative. Negative 3 is greater than or equal to m. All right? If I want, I could turn the whole problem around if I want. So m would be less than or equal to negative 3. Okay, if you want. You don't have to, but sometimes this is a little confusing. Negative 3 is greater than m, so then m is less than negative 3. So if you're going to flip it around, turn the whole problem around, reflect the whole problem around. All right? When you divide by negative, you just turn the sign around. Okay, cool. Nothing to distribute. No like terms to put together over here or over here. So now all I got to do is move my letters to one side. So I have 6 n's on the left. I got 3 n's on the right. I always move the smaller number first. So I'm going to move this 3n. So I'm going to subtract 3n from both sides. I like to try to keep my variable positive so I don't forget my alert. So 3n minus 1 is greater than 8. Now I got to get rid of this minus 1. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. 3n is greater than 9. Divide by 3. No flip because I'm dividing by a positive number. N is greater than 3. Done. Just like an equation. Follow the steps, one step at a time. Write it down. You'll get them all right. It'll be great. Nothing to distribute. No like terms on the left. No like terms on the right. Solve it up. I added 2b. All right, I try to keep my b's positive. You could subtract 3b from both sides, and then you'd have a negative 5b over here. I like to try to keep them positive. So I'm going to add 2b to both sides. So now I have 5b plus 12 is greater than 27. I got to get rid of that 12. So it's a positive 12, so I subtract 12 from both sides. 5b is greater than 15. Divide by 5. b is greater than 3. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. All right, here we go. Next, distribute. So give the 2 away first. Anytime you see a parenthesis and a number outside, you got to give it away. So 2 times 5, 2 times negative 4a. So the right becomes 10 minus 8a, because 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times negative 4a is negative 8a. So 10 minus 8a is greater than or equal to 10 minus 8a. Interesting. Combine like terms on each side? Well, there's nothing to do. Use addition and subtraction. Letters on one side, numbers on the other. I'm going to get rid of this 8a, so I'm going to add 8a to both sides. Well, what happened? Oh my God, it canceled out on both sides. There's no more a left. All I'm left with is 10 is greater than or equal to 10. Well, whenever there's no variable left, we have to look at what's going on with the numbers. Is it true or false? Is 10 greater than or equal to 10? Does it work? Is it true? Yes, because 10 is greater than or equal to 10. If it didn't have this equals, it would be a false statement, but it does have the equals, so it's true. So once I get a true statement with only numbers, my answer is infinite solution. A could be any number, and this would have worked. All right? So the book calls any infinite solution, they call it an identity. If you just wrote infinite solution, that would be fine with us. You can write identity if you want. So if you get no variable left, look at the statement. If it's true, then your answer is infinite solution or identity. All right? Let's look at this one. Nothing to distribute. Combine your like terms. So over here on the right, I can put these m's together. 7m minus 1m is 6m's. Now look what happens when you subtract 6m from both sides to get all the m's on the same side. Well, they're all gone. There's no m's left. So all you have left with is negative 5 is greater than 7. So there's no variable left. So I got to look at the statement. Is negative 5 greater than 7? Well, negative 5 is not greater than 7, so that's a false statement. So that means it's not true. So that means there is no solution that makes this true, because negative 5 will never be greater than 7. So there's no number I can put in for m to make this true, to make the left more than the right. So there's no solution to that problem. So I get no variable left, and I just look. False statement, no solution. If it was a true statement, infinite solution or identity. All right, there's a little word problem. Community garden. You want to fence a vegetable garden that's adjacent, right next to, your friend's garden. You have at most 42 feet of fence. So you can use less than 42 feet, or you could use exactly 42 feet, but you cannot use more than 42 feet. Look at the picture. Here's a garden, your friend. This side is 12, it says, and here's your garden. Nice sized garden. Okay? So what are the possible lengths of your garden? Well, I can't use more than 42 feet. I know I'm going to need 12 feet here, and I know I'm going to need 12 feet over here because it's a rectangle. So I remember that the perimeter, the outside of my garden, is 2 lengths, 2 of these, 1, 2, and 2 widths, 1, 2. All right? So I know that I have at most 42 feet. So I know that whatever I figure out has to be less than or equal to the 42. I have to keep my perimeter smaller than or equal exactly 42, or I run out of fence. So here's my inequality. And I know this width already is 12. They told me that's 12. So 2 times 12 is going to make 24 feet I've already used up. So 42 is greater than or equal to 2L plus 24. All right, and I just got to solve it. So what I'm figuring out has to be smaller than my limit. My limit is 42. This is what I'm figuring out. It's got to be smaller than or equal to 42. Subtract 24 from both sides. So 2L is smaller than, or exactly, 18. So L would be less than 9. Okay? So my length has to be smaller than 9. Anything more than 9 would be too big. It would be more than 42 feet. Okay? So the length of the garden can be any length less than or exactly 9. So you could do 9 here. You'd have 9, 12, 9, and 12, which is exactly 42. Or you could do anything smaller than 9, like 8, or 7, or 5.13456. So any number that's smaller than 9, or exactly 9. Can't be more than 9. You could do 1. Now, you can't really do a negative length. So really any number less than or equal to 9. All right? Hopefully that makes sense. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.